Hey, time for another Sunday devlog. Over the last week, I made a bunch of little adjustments to the game based on beta tester feedback. Some more changes to the level layout, hopefully making it a little bit clearer, stop people from getting stuck in areas where they're getting stuck. I also adjusted some of the tutorial content. I added in a couple of new tutorial Karens just to hopefully make it a little clearer what's going on in certain cases, and then also reposition some of the tutorials so that players hopefully have a more immediate understanding of what that content means. The biggest and coolest change to the game is we added a voiceover, or at least placeholder voiceover for the two main characters, Demi and Tillinghast. I did the voice for Tillinghast, the current voice at least, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I tried to do some placeholder voice work for Demi, but it sounded an awful lot like Michael Jackson, which wasn't what we were going for. And so my wife Amanda stepped in and voiced Demi, and then we shifted the pitch for both of our voices so that hopefully we're pretty unrecognizable as ourselves. It certainly made it easier for us to play through the game after that when it didn't sound like us, because that's always weird. I've got one more Tillinghast line. I was going to record that to show you that process of recording it and then manipulating the pitch and putting it in game. I use Audacity. I might lean kind of uncomfortably close to the camera here because the camera is actually my mic. We have a pretty rinky-dink voice recording setup. So the line is going to be, well, it's actually two lines. It's take what you can from these last pools of ectoplasm, but this is not your world. Actually, in game, I might have it divided. Yeah, just take what you can, drink what you can from these last pools of ectoplasm. This is not your world. Okay, so in Audacity,
drink what you can from these last pools of ectoplasm. This is not your world.
Okay, that wasn't uncomfortable at all, right?
Drink what you can from these last pools of ectoplasm. This is not your world.
Okay, so Tillinghast is kind of unwelcoming to the outlier. Basically, I just reduce the pitch by 10%, and then I also normalize it so that it's at least somewhat standard. Oops. Maybe I have to amplify it first. We want the volume to be sort of standard across all these different audio files, and we'll do more adjustments there later. But for now, this is all I do. I pass it off to Nick, who's more of an expert with this stuff, so he'll fine tune these audio clips a little bit.
Drink what you can from these last pools of ectoplasm. This is not your world.
Okay, so I'll export these. Export selected. I have a little naming convention here where it's the character, so Tillinghast, and then the level, this is level 1, and, well, actually, not your world. And I'll do the same thing for this. And then, once I've exported those, I put them in, let's see. So I have subfolders in the Wasteland 1 audio folder that for like these different dialogue sequences. In this case, I'm just going to call this one Ectoplasm. So, because that's the purpose of this this dialogue. People weren't clear as to what the blue fluid was. It looks all like water, and they don't actually start calling it ectoplasm in the script until later in the game. So I wanted to clarify that a little bit. So I have these two audio clips, and I already prepared this. In game, there's a trigger and two dialogue objects using the dialogue script that I wrote. So I'm just going to drag the corresponding audio clips into those. I already wrote the subtitle text, and then I'm going to run through this real quick and make sure it works. just wanted that to play through before I got to the trigger. So the new dialogue trigger should be right in here.
Drink what you can from these last pools of ectoplasm. This is not your world.
Okay, so it works. Originally, I had some text in this tutorial cairn right here saying ectoplasm lets you fly, but it felt a little too heavy-handed, so I'm just going to keep it as watch your tail, and then that paired with the dialogue clip of Tillinghast calling this stuff ectoplasm, hopefully will be enough to communicate everything that's needed here. Basically, I just want the player to know that this stuff is ectoplasm, and your tail indicates how much flight you have in you, basically. So that blue energy tail that appears fades away with time.
Demi sees something in you, Empire.
Okay, so that's done.